Superannuation is one of the best forms of saving for your retirement. I think we can all agree on that one. So, how would you feel if you were approaching your retirement only to find out that you have been shortchanged by hundreds of thousands of dollars in the value of your superannuation fund entitlement? This is exactly what happened to employees of the Transport Authority who joined the ESS Super Transport Superannuation Fund between 1st July 1988 and 31st December 1993. If you think that that was a long time ago, so why are we talking about it right now? Well, all those people who joined the ESS Super at that time right now are getting ready to retire. And only now they discover that ESS Super allegedly miscalculated superannuation entitlement by up to $300,000 per member, with estimated total owing of more than $40 million in unpaid superannuation entitlement. Therefore now, Gordon Legal, together with the Rail, Tram and Bus Union, ran a class action against the ESS Superfund. Let's hope that the outcome will be positive for all employed workers affected. If you wish to read more about this case, please refer to the link of the article from Financial Review that I have included below this video. So why am I mentioning this? Well, number one, let's make sure that every person affected is well informed and participates in this class action. And number two, we assume that our employer does the right thing, and honestly most do, but in case you are unlucky working for the company that is trying to get away from their superannuation obligation, do you really know what type of your earnings are actually subject to superannuation guarantee payments? Is your superannuation paid on your overtime? What about casual work or allowances or bonuses? If you don't know what type of payment is subject to SG, how would you be able to check this? Therefore, today we are getting deeper into superannuation guarantee payments so you can fully understand what type of payments your employer should pay SG on and which payments are not subject to SG obligation. My name is Katherine Isbrandt from About Retirement. I'm a certified financial planner and you are watching About Retirement TV. I created this channel for all Australians who are getting closer to retirement or those who have already retired and would like to improve their financial outcomes. Increase retirement income, for example, improve investments, understand superannuation, tax or social security rules to create retirement of security, peace of mind and ultimately personal enjoyment. Employer can use two types of payments for work completed by employees. Number one, OTE, Ordinary Time Earnings, which means employees are paid for their ordinary hours of work, which could include commissions or shift loadings. Or number two, salary and wages. They are very similar to OTE, but also include any overtime payments. So we all understand that our agreed time to work is subject to 11% SG contribution rate in current 2023-24 financial year. This will increase to 11.5 next financial year, 2024-25, and again to 12% in 2025-26 financial year, and will remain at that level until we have some other changes. So what sort of payments are we looking in terms of additional SG obligation? Over time, generally the employer is liable for SG under both payment agreements unless the overtime hours are over and above the ordinary hours stated in an award or agreement. If this is the case, then under your OTE payment option, the employer does not have to pay SG contributions. Allowances. If in your work agreement you have an allowance to offset particular expenses, or you have a discretion how to spend the allowance, or like doctors, for example, you have an hourly on-call allowance, the SG is payable on those allowances. If, however, you have an expense allowance that is expected to be used in full, for example, a salesman receives an allowance of, let's say, $10,000 per annum for travel to visit clients, to cover his phone expenses, or that type of allowance is expected to be fully used over the year, and no SG is paid on this type of allowance. Casual work and commissions. All casual employees are supported with full SG contributions. That also applies to commission payments. However, be aware that not all overtime is subject to SG obligation. If you are paid under the ordinary time earnings, OTE, then you will not receive any super for your worked overtime. Expenses. Reimbursement of work-related expenses, for example, travel costs, are not subject to SG. If you are looking at expenses such as workers' compensation, it depends. If it is paid and you return to work, then yes, SG is payable. If, however, you are not working, then there is no superannuation paid. Bonuses. Most bonuses are subject to SG liability. However, if the bonus is paid in respect of overtime only and you are paid under the OTE system, then no SG is paid on this type of the bonus. Leave. Annual leave, including annual leave loading, are all subject to SG contribution. Sick leave. SG is paid on your sick leave. Long service leave. Yes, SG is paid on your long service leave as well. Family and domestic violence leave. I didn't even know that this type of leave existed, but it is good to see that it is, and yes, SG is paid on leave as well. Parental leave, such as maternity leave, paternity leave, and adoption leave, are all with no SG liability for your employer. Ancillary leave, such as, for example, jury duty or Defence Reserve Service, there is no SG liability on the part of employer. Termination payments. Termination payments in lieu of notice, they are all subject to SG payments. Termination payments of your unused annual leave, long service leave or sick leave, SG is paid if you are on salary or wages, but no SG is payable if you are on ordinary time earnings. I know today's video was a bit technical, but at the end of the day, your super is your super. You should not rely on your employer to be correct, or most certainly don't rely on your superannuation fund. This is your entitlement, and you have to know what it is that you are supposed to be receiving. If you are ever in doubt, get the independent advice. And please give this video a like and subscribe to this channel if you would like to support it and if you believe that this is valuable information. Yes, super, as you can see, can be complicated and it doesn't get any easier the older we get. If you rely on generic information or general advice, you will most certainly get the average outcome. I cannot tell you how often I see clients that after our conversation, they say, if only I spoke with you a few years ago, I would have been in a different place now. The level of knowledge accumulated over the years is extremely important, but mainly it is experience in putting together complex strategies to get the most beneficial outcome for you, for your life, for your retirement, and for your money. Nothing can replace experience in anything we do. So if you are thinking of preparing for retirement, or if you wonder if your current setup is the optimum, or like most people, you are wondering, will my money last my lifetime? Will I be okay? Should I keep that investment property? If I sell it, how do I deal with tax? Do I have a good superannuation fund? What about all those fees within my super? How should I structure my retirement income? Is age pension on the horizon for me at all? Those are all the questions I get every day from clients during our meetings, through emails and many messages. If you have those questions, please just organize a meeting. I am unable to answer all those questions through emails. Not only time doesn't permit, but legally we are going into personal advice, and that requires a meeting and my getting to know you and your actual situation. So please visit my calendar to book your preferred time for our meeting. To do this, visit my website aboutretirement.com.au, and on each page there is a button, Book a Meeting, that will take you to my personal calendar where you can choose day and time for us to meet and discuss your personal situation and how you would like to see it improved. And while you are on my website, look around. There are hundreds of articles and videos for you to read and listen to and learn. Also, don't forget to sign up to my newsletter to be always updated with all the changes that can impact your retirement and your money. And now please keep on watching. First recommendation is concessional contribution. What's new? This is the most popular type of contribution, so you need to understand it really well. The second recommendation, you are ready to retire. And what now? Steps to prepare for your retirement. Watch, learn, and I will speak with you in my next video. Bye for now.